What the hell is Ahsoka? We're talking the first two episodes of The Mandalorian with spoilers, plus our hopes for future Disney Plus Star Wars and the Rise of Skywalker predictions. Punch it, Chewie. This is Hyperspace Hype.
Punch it!
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Hyperspace Hype. We got a full crew on board today. Starting it off, we got Evan.
Hey guys, what's up?
We got Carson.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm the sick from the med bay person. I'm back in action. This is the first episode. I'm excited. So yeah, let's get it.
Good to have you back, man. We got Brandon.
What's up, everyone? Punch it, Chewie.
Punch it, Chewie. All right. And of course, Nathan. How's it going, guys? So this is exciting. It's the first episode, so we got plenty to talk about. First and foremost, we got the first couple episodes of The Mandalorian, just premiere on Disney Plus. And just to let you guys know, this is a full spoiler talk. We're going to get in depth on theories, everything that's to come. How we
did Yoda
did he? Maybe
Yoda and Yadi had a baby, 100%.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll restrain my. You can cut it.
No, it's all good. So that's the first thing we're going to be talking about. So let's just dive in, guys. Who would like to go first on their thoughts of The Mandalorian?
I think I'll go first. Let's discuss the pilot episode, the very first episode, because that really intrigued me because I was kind of nervous going into it. Not really nervous, but trepidatious to see if is this going to be just a serious show, a badass, just doing his thing, no name, that kind of thing. But as the episode went on, I thought it was very funny. It was very it was of course very gritty and action packed. But I did love the comedic moments the best, and of course the ending with Baby Yoda.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody could have anticipated. We saw a lot of the stuff in the market. A lot of the marketing was in the very first episode, which I was so happy about. But also just that reveal by the end, that not only was IG-11 taken out for now, because I do think he's going to come back, but there's another Yoda species, something we don't think we ever thought we would get. Is nuts, right?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. With how mysterious Yoda's species was, I thought him and Yaddle were the only ones of his species. You know?
Yeah, I did too. Honestly, I remember there being kind of rumblings on Twitter of something at the first Mandalorian episode is going to change how you view Star Wars forever or something. I'm like, okay, in the context of something that's post Return of the Jedi, kind of in the Outer Rim, I'm like, what could this possibly be? I mean, not to say it's a low stakes show, because I absolutely do not think it's there's the stakes are already ramping up already, as we can tell. But nobody could have saw that coming unless you literally work for Lucasfilm, or you apparently work on Reddit threads, because Reddit knows everything, I guess, these days. No, I'm just kidding. But I too love the first episode. I'm happy for Dave Filoni, with it being his first live action debut, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. Me too, Evan, I was kind of oh, what's this gonna be, because the marketing was very ominous, and I'm like Nathan, I'm glad that most of the stuff was from that first, or a little bit from the second episode too. And the only thing I really didn't like about the episode, if we're going into negatives, because I really don't have that many, is the blue alien guy in the beginning. I just found him such a cringy character. It worked to put across the point of his non-responsive kind of man in the mask, but I don't know. I was worried in those first 10 minutes, and then as soon as they get past the ice and he gets carbon froze, I was like, all right, I'm in.
That's a very good point, because I was very it felt very cliche, very
right.
Of course he walks in, he has to fight off the guys who are pissed off at him, so we can see how strong he is, how cool he is. And then he walks off with his bounty. So yeah, it started off very cliche, but it was also fun to watch too.
Yeah, no, it was weird because he walks in and he's like, you spilled my drink, and I'm like, I don't know. I've watched it twice now, and like I still am like, when did he spill the drink? Like he didn't even like approach them yet. So I don't know.
He was just trying to get a free drink off the dude.
I think so. Like, but
Yeah, just right from the get-go, I was really taken aback at just like, I mean, we already got a feel of the atmospherics from like the footage we saw at Celebration, but just having it continue to play out in fuller scenes was not only amazing, but like we do need to address the soundtrack is insane.
Oh my god, Ludwig is a perfectionist. Oh my god,
Very much so.
and it's like he came from Black Panther. Can't remember what his last film technically was, but like I remember watching interviews where he like researched for Black Panther and he like traveled there and kind of was like really invested in like getting it quote unquote right. And to see him kind of just nail this vibe of like, I don't really even know what's in there at some points. It's like synth, but like also very orchestral and like not reliant on OT Star Wars or John Williams really that much at all, but it feels Star Wars, which I'm like, it's like a triangle of like, how did you balance all of this stuff, but it works completely.
oh my god, when he's walking through the desert with Baby Yoda,
In the second episode.
after he covers him up with the crib, that synth music right there is perfection.
Oh, it's so good.
I agree.
Like right from the get-go, like as soon like the start of the episode, as soon as the circle door opens and you just hear that little tune, it feels like Star Wars version of Good, Bad, and Ugly's theme.
Oh my god, yes.
It totally does.
Good call there.
I love how you're Jata Gratu.
Oh my, it's just all the different things are just on point.
Also, fun fact, I did not know this until afterwards. Greg Fraser, who shot Rogue One, shot the first episode at least, which I did not know that even afterwards. I was like, wait, yeah, I was watching the credits. Credits are another thing. Genius decision to go with that concept art and stuff. Love that.
God, it's beautiful.
But both the talent they've amassed as far as, you know, Jon Favreau kind of leading the whole thing, you know, Dave Filoni and then Taika both being a character and directing later on, and I'm so excited to see all these directors kind of like get their hand in Star Wars. It's awesome.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited to see Deborah Chow get her episode too, because now that we know she's doing Kenobi as well, so can't wait to see how
So
she
there's a
does
lot of
Mandalorian.
confidence, and at least in Kathleen Kennedy, there's a lot of confidence with her as a director. So
That is exciting. I'm excited to see how her episode goes, her 2 episodes, because she's doing 2, right?
do we actually? I'm gonna look up the Wikipedia.
Yeah, you should look that up. I think she's doing 2. I think Rick's doing 2, she's doing 2, and then Bryce Dallas Howard's doing 1.
Yeah, she's doing episode
that's how it
3 and
works.
7.
Is Dave doing 2? I think Dave.
Dave is doing episode 5. Rick's doing episode 6. Bryce is doing episode 4, and then Taika's doing episode 8.
Okay.
He's doing the finale. But yeah, she's gonna be doing episodes 3 and 7. So I'm excited to see those episodes to see like if I can get some sort of feel of what she's gonna do for Kenobi. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
Yeah, I'll
kind of
be
hard
curious.
for TV directors to really stand out. Like Rick Famuyiwa kind of stood out here, but it did also look very similar to Dave Filoni's style a little bit there as well. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to get a very rare, unique TV director, but I am excited to see what Deborah brings to the show.
Absolutely. So like a lot of things go on, and of course we could spend like plenty of time recapping like what happens in each episode, but I think we should just dive into implications we got from said episodes, like not only like what we enjoyed, but like what we think is gonna come moving forward.
Absolutely.
I personally feel that Mando, as much as his character is amazing, as much as you want him to father Baby Yoda, in the trailer shots later on, you see him loathed in Beskar steel, like all of his armor is upgraded. I personally feel he's going to turn in the baby. Either that or he's going to be forced to.
I think he's going to get back. Also, you made a good point when we were discussing off the air in the second episode when there's like the fob on the ground when there's more bounties after the youngling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he's going to get back to how do I pronounce it? Werner Herzog.
Yes.
character, and I think he's gonna be like, yo, I thought this bounty was exclusive, like, you know, I don't like mess around with people going after this if it's not gonna be just me. And I think he's gonna learn something in that next confrontation. Not to put pieces together, but you know that shot of where he's like beating down stormtroopers in the official trailer, I think that's gonna be escaping from said situation.
That's a good point.
Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, let's not forget that he also, like, he shot IG-11 and then he shot other bounty hunters. So at the same time, he's gonna have people at the Bounty Hunters Guild very upset at him, like Carl Weathers' character. I think his name is.
Yeah,
Chris
that's the other
Karga.
thing I was gonna say. He's in crosshairs as well, so he doesn't even have necessarily leverage to go into that room and be like, So I'm very
exactly
curious.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes down to getting a bounty and protecting your bounty, if other people are after it, of course you're going to try and protect your pretty much money, you know?
Yeah, but I think they probably have a rule implemented about actually, like, killing them and vaporizing them. So.
Can't find the evidence of the vaporized.
That's true. There's no
right?
evidence, but I don't think we've seen the last of that droid.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I don't think I can. No, I did. There's footage of like more of Taika's IG, so like, yeah, he's gonna come back. You don't waste that character. He made such a great impression.
What if that's not IG-11? What if it's just another IG unit?
Didn't Taika like already tweet about it or something? I could be wrong, totally wrong.
I mean, well, they're like recently.
I don't know. I think after the first episode, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That could be the case, but I kind of doubt it. I think he's just
or
like, he's a
think if
droid,
he's
so
repurposed. Think if he's repurposed somehow.
that's what I'm thinking too. I think he's just gonna get repurposed or come back together. Or some other people have talked about how maybe like in IG-11 ship he has multiple other versions of himself that could come after our Mandalorian.
That's a pretty good theory. Like downloading his consciousness like that. That could work.
Yeah, so that could be also why he was so willing to like, I'm gonna self-destruct now because I can't. Instead of like, I can't be captured or whatever, or killed. I can't remember the exact line. It's like he's not so specifically worried. What was the book? I think it was Last Shot, where there was a lot of droid stuff where like droids got like taken over. It could be a similar situation.
Yeah, I wanted to actually like address the fact that these multiple bounty hunters that are actually coming over to terminate the target versus Mandalorian having the option of taking it alive and preferred from the scientist. My thought is, Brandon, what did you say Giancarlo's character's name is?
Moff Gideon.
Yeah, I think because we see him later in the trailers and he's leading his own Imperial crew. I think there's going to be different factions of the Empire of like how they're moving forward since the destruction of the Death Star. I think they all had their radar on this Yoda baby, which best term we have for it. And I think he wants it. He's the one who's sending all these bounty hunters to kill it versus this scientist and Werner Herzog's character that want it alive, because I think there's a different initiative going on because the scientist patch, I think online was saying it has the Camino cloning facility basis.
Yeah, I noticed that afterwards.
Curious if like they were planning to I had a thought that like the Emperor knew about this baby and like had plans to track it down so that if it is possibly known at least a little bit that Yoda's species is all force sensitive, which I think we can infer now after episode 2, that maybe he wants to at least get this one to obviously clone it but also use it for like dark side purposes.
And the thing you have to remember, the baby's 50 years old. So, like, its lifespan predates, like, because the original trilogy spans, like, what is it, like 14 years or something?
The original trilogy is like 5 years. It's 19.
5 years, okay.
It's 19 years between 3 and 4. The Clone Wars was...
That's what I was... And then how many years are we post Return of the Jedi into Mando?
That we don't know.
5. I hear reports of 5.
They said like a few years.
Okay. So like, that's crazy because
I think it does predate the Phantom Menace when this child was.
it does. Okay.
Yeah, I was doing the math like yesterday. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, it's like you don't realize that it does.
I'm wondering how the journey of its 50 years went, since like it is in its infant stage for so long.
Yeah, and that's really, we just found that out, that like their infant stage is this kind of duration.
Yeah. Like, the thing with me is, I don't think anybody's been able to train it on how to speak or anything. I think it's just been held in protectivity. I don't think anybody's been taking the time to really, like, parent it, you know? Like raising the child, like how to speak, how to do certain things. That's why it's still, like, in baby language.
Yeah, it was in the care of those random mercenaries. So I wonder how they got a hold of the Yoda baby. Maybe like they worked for somebody else. I will learn later on, but that has me very curious. But also, I have a little theory. Don't be surprised if Moff Gideon's character maybe kills Werner Herzog's character coming up in order to have like control over the baby. If they're like both like different parts of the Empire, like warring factions. I can see that happening.
Gus Fring did kill the cousins to keep Walter White safe.
Exactly. So you never know.
And it's interesting because you have to think the fallout of the Empire spans, like, it's less immediate in these outer worlds, you know, because there's not as much infrastructure and whatnot. It's like, and not everybody kind of knows that the thumb is kind of lifted. And so I think there's going to be, like Evan was saying, like there's going to be all these power vacuums, especially for something this important. I'm super curious to see how that kind of moves forward.
I think the line from A New Hope, when Tarkin says the regional governors will have control of their designated territories or something, I think that has a major role as to who these characters have control of, you know?
Well, I think no, because like, isn't there like a set for like a New Republic, and since we're like on the outer rim outskirts, we're less away from that.
Yeah, and then I go all the way forward to the Rise of Skywalker, and I see Star Destroyers coming out of the ice, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Where were all these resources like buried, and how did that shift happen? Or was it predating the war and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy just to think. It's crazy to think like what could happen with this Yoda baby. Like, we don't know like if it'll even survive the journey. That would be surprising if it doesn't. But Brandon, you shared in chat something quite disturbing of the thought that if somebody had said on Twitter that what if the Yoda baby becomes one of Luke's students in the future?
Horrifying.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, I was like, no!
How dare you? Because I was like, but could it survive? And I was like, no, because then it'd be a Knight of Ren, and then it doesn't fit its head into that helmet.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation, because Evan's more up to date on the comics, I think, than most of us. But like, I remember, I don't know if the Kylo Ren comics are come out yet or whatnot, but like
they
in
come out
one of the
in
summaries,
December.
Yeah, one of the summaries was like kind of seemingly confirming that the Knights of Ren weren't students, if I get that right. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
synopsis?
You're right. Yeah, they are not Luke's students. They existed prior to Luke constructing
Which is
his
very
academy.
interesting, because I'm like, that was the through line that I saw, that JJ was going to be like, okay, that's the emotional connection to Ben, and that's why I think Ryan kind of left it open, because I think there's an interview he's like, I don't want to kill him in case there was a connection. But I'm like, I'm so curious. We're getting off topic.
But at the same time, Ryan is also kind of right, because he does have that connection to the Knights of Ren, just not the way we expected it.
Yeah, not the way we expected.
Yeah, I was actually.
But also, what?
I was actually like trying to like piece together, because like I know Luke said Ben disappeared with a handful of his students, but like then I just realized, well, okay, they don't have to disappear together.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I think in the synopsis it says like after they think that he killed Luke, then they come after him. Or, like the people that aren't dead, they come after him, and then maybe they get killed by the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, see, like for so long, my headcanon was like, okay, after the hut scene, it's like, it's kind of like a big scene where it's like choosing loyalties. Like, it's Ben like picking on his friends, like, hey, are you with me or are you not with me? And like, I don't know. That's what always my headcanon was. So it's it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting, but at the same time, going back to it, I don't think Yoda... It's that weird scenario where we're in now, because it's similar to Rebels, where, like, Kanan and Ezra can't live because where are they in the sequel trilogy, or the original trilogy? So now we're like, okay, Baby Yoda, something has to happen to him, because then where the hell is he in the sequel trilogy? So it's very interesting.
Right.
This is getting more into the Rise of Skywalker prediction segment.
Yeah, no, that naturally was gonna happen.
Yeah, it flows into creative thoughts. But so as far as Mandalorian goes, like we can all agree it's like pretty fantastic, just what we got so far. Any more points we want to touch on for Mandalorian? Like any more like predictions moving forward? I mean, I loved like everything they showcased. I was actually surprised about the amount of people who were saying they like really enjoyed episode 2 more than 1, like despite of how much shorter it was.
That's one thing to talk about, the length of the episodes.
I feel like the second there was more to expand on. Like the first one was just to break the ice, but this one actually had like a goal in mind. He had to get off planet.
Well, the first one did set the main goal for probably the seasons, like find this bounty, which then ends up setting up what this bounty is and what it means.
Right.
Which we're definitely like unveiling more and more. Like, okay, so there is this species, and we were on the fence. Like, is it force sensitive? Yes, it is. That's what like intrigues more and more. Just as like, I'm no doubt there are going to be like more unveilings of like big bombshells of like what this journey is going to mean and its importance per episode. So,
yeah, the thing I loved about the second episode is there's even less dialogue than the first, really, and it's just kind of dynamic between the Yoda baby and the Mandalorian, and so much happens in 32 minutes. So much. Yeah. Like, but it didn't feel like it understayed its welcome, if that makes any sense. Like, I felt like that journey of just like trying to get back to his ship and then chasing the Jawas and then going to get the egg. Oh, we need to talk about the egg.
Suga!
That is, I don't know. It reminded me of something George Lucas would do. Like, it's just very like
like how awful. Like he almost died getting that egg and they just wanted to snap.
And then you just hear the knife sound effect, just like it's so funny.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they just like chop the thing off. Like I'm gonna say what Hello Greedo said. And I kind of agree with it. Hello Greedo said that he thought they were gonna use that egg, they were gonna raise whatever hatched out of it and use it to help them scavenge. But they just ripped it open, used it as a little tasty treat.
You think they're taming that beast? Those little creatures? Can you imagine like 20 of them putting like chains on one of those?
I can imagine them at least like trying to sell it, like. But nah, man, they're just hungry. Jawas are such jerks. So
oh yeah,
I didn't feel
like, hey,
I didn't feel any remorse. I didn't feel any remorse when like they were just like getting thrown out windows and obliterating. Like,
wow. I mean, come on, guys. These are Jawas. You got to make a living somehow. Like they're not gonna be combat fighters or mercenaries. They're Jawas, so they gotta do whatever they gotta do to survive.
The funniest part is when he yanked one of the Jawas out the window and it made the Lego Jawa death sound from the Lego games.
I didn't notice that.
That's nuts. It's the best when like all that time scaling the sandcrawler, which did like a lot of people are saying did feel like very Indiana Jones, like against the tank.
Oh my god, yes.
That was so good.
We also need to talk about effects for like what's the budget, like 12 million episode or something. ILM is the Razor Crest especially looks really, really good when it like lands and such.
Well, you know they built that in John Knoll's garage.
Oh, we know. we went to Celebration. Every time I see it exiting a planet, I see the flight path, and it takes me out of the show. I love it so much, but I know it's there, and it's just like a battle in my head.
It just makes it more charming. I'm just so impressed on like how well the puppetry of Baby Yoda is. Like, I'm sure they got like some CG effects here and there, but like I can't tell at all.
I bet there's only CG to like touch up the eyes.
Oh my
and maybe
God,
the ears.
Yeah, but then,
maybe the ears.
But then you can't even tell because like their movements are so puppet. Like he doesn't even blink all the way. Like a puppet. Like
it reminds me of the Gremlin puppeteer.
oh yeah, the Mogwais and stuff. Like
Yes.
everything. I'm impressed the most when it's like actually walking on the ground next to the
my
Mandalorian. Like, how are you doing that? How are you tackling a frog? And it looks so real.
I feel like they hit it with a BB-8 effect.
Maybe, or someone's like over the top of it in like a green suit. That's probably what happened.
That's what I'm saying. The BB-8 effect.
That's yeah. Because I was like, do they have someone under the desert like moving their hand? I was like, there's no way. They brought in Frank Oz as a consultant. That'd be cool if they did.
Oh, last thing I was gonna ask you guys, because I know there's been some arguments about, like, I think we should briefly mention like the physicality of the character and like not revealing his face. Obviously, it's a very distinct part of, you know, the bounty hunter Mandalorian stuff. But when do you think he's gonna reveal his face, and how do you think Pedro is done kind of selling the character in both episodes?
I actually wouldn't. I was convinced like at some point he would, but now I'm unsure. I actually think they might pull a Captain Phasma and he might damage his helmet and you get like a glimpse of his face.
That might
like,
work too.
Like later on in the
could
season.
work. But I'm one of those people where I kind of I want to see his face somewhere in this season. I don't want to go the whole season not seeing his face. So either it's going to be the finale or maybe the penultimate episode. I just hope we eventually see his face just so I connect with him more. Because I did love that moment in The Force Awakens when we finally got to see Adam Driver's face. I hope there's a moment like that in The Mandalorian somewhere down the line soon.
All the mask reveals in Force Awakens are really good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I mean, props to Pedro for like not only like being a selfless actor that doesn't require his face being shown all the time, but like actually being able to like act under the armor, because that's a big task, and he sells it so well.
Yeah.
No, yeah, especially like when he gets like mad when he sees his ship getting scrapped, or like kind of the questioning of the when he first sees the baby Yoda. He sells it in his voice really well.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Like, I was so happy that, like, just, like, toward the end of the second episode, like, they're trying to comprehend, like, what the Force even is because they're so out of touch on the Outer Rim. Like, that's such a great detail. Like, and, like, seeing, like, how they may explore that moving forward. Because I'm sure, like, the Empire has all the data knowledge on the Jedi because, like, or at least, like, as much as they could because I'm sure Palpatine corrupted so much. But...
yeah, no.
I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'm sure they have plenty like research files of like the legends of the Jedi and like what the importance are for like Force users. Because like obviously like they had the Inquisitors to like hunt them down and stuff. I'm sure Fallen Order addresses that more. So far Evan's the only one of us who's actually been like playing it. So.
Yep, and I'm getting my butt kicked a lot, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get it in the next week. Me and Brandon will start playing it, and then we can address more on the next episode next week. But. Yeah, it's interesting to see like where things could go, but
real quick, I also wanted to mention about the Force thing. This could also be like not the first time that the Mandalorian has encountered the Force, because we couldn't get his expression, of course. But since we saw in the flashback, he was born he was alive during the Clone Wars a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe he saw a Jedi somewhere down his professional line. It's very possible he came across a Jedi at one point.
That it's possible. I actually interpreted the scene like, because it's cool. Like they have like the tidbit like he's always annoyed by droids, and then you do see like even there was a bit more of shots in the trailer where like they're running through the town and it's just getting assaulted by battle droids, So it's possible that was just the Trade Federation like seizing control of the planet, and maybe like there is no sign of the Republic's hope at that point. So,
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, it could be one of those things where it was like a suppressed traumatic memory kind of thing, where he possibly saw a Force user maybe like on that exit of the planet, or I'm assuming obviously he has to get off whatever planet that is, or somewhere along down the line. But I think it's going to be interesting to see which like pivotal point in his life kind of like swayed him outer rim and all that of kind of.
I just thought of a theory on the spot, which I don't know if they would even be able to achieve this with their commitment to puppetry. But how crazy would it be if like they had that assault, and then like Evan said, like a Force user did come in, but what if the Force user, since it is the time of the Clone Wars, like what if the Force user that came in was Yoda, and that's why the Mandalorian has such like a defense for this Yoda creature because of his memory from a child.
Huh.
I don't know. It might
That's
be
a great theory.
little on the nose for me, personally.
Sure.
But it would be cool. Like, yeah, no, I see what you're saying, because then it brings it full circle, like, and then adds a lot of weight to the moment in the first episode where it's like, he's got to make that split decision.
Yeah, I would just like, but like it's just like part of me kind of wants to see like if they could achieve like Attack of the Clone Yoda movements with like a puppet.
Puppets.
Oh man, that
Like you don't even have to like
awesome, but
you don't even have to like showcase him like flipping around. Like if you just like we were saying, the BB-8 effect of a puppet, like with a green screen guy. Like if you just have him like jump off screen with a saber, and you just
It could be like a force push in the distance, or literally anything.
Yeah, like hiding your camera angles well to get the most maximum effect.
Holding up a Star Destroyer. No, I'm just kidding.
did you guys see the final shot of the episode where Baby Yoda sits up and sees space for the first time?
I don't know if that's
Yes, that is the moment. I will protect him at all costs.
I don't know if it's his first moment since the 50 years, but it's definitely interesting. Just him waking up, and it's adorable because he was so tuckered out from Force using. Oh, it's so good.
When he passes out, that effect is so good. When he just like falls back.
He's like, I'm done. I love when he's like trying to reach for his scar, like an ET moment. It's so adorable.
Oh yeah, when he's trying to heal him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we touched on some pretty good points, but like now that we have seen the first couple of episodes of The Mandalorian and we get a feel of like what Disney Plus can bring with these series, I wanted to move into our next segment of the Disney Plus series we know that are coming, like Kenobi and Cassian, and what our expectations are now that we experienced The Mandalorian, like what we want from these series coming. So throw it to Brandon. What do you want to see, like Disney Plus series wise, and like how you would want them to handle them moving forward?
All right, time out. I don't think Evan is here. Evan's here.
No, I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah. All right, edit this part out. All right. What did you ask again?
Okay, so we know Disney Plus series like Cassian and Kenobi are coming. I want to know what other Disney Plus series you'd be intrigued in seeing, as well as how you would want the direction of the already announced series to move forward.
Oh, I've talked with you guys countless times about this one. I need a Solo spinoff, a continuing story of the movie Solo, a Star Wars story. I don't care if it's a movie. I don't care if it's a series. Just give it to me. I need more Kira. I need more Han and Chewie, how he gets into the whole smuggling jobs. And I need to introduce... I know Boba Fett's like the most overrated character, but I want more Boba Fett. I want to see Boba and Han interact and see why they're on bad terms, even though he does have a bounty on him. I want to see more of Crimson Dawn. I want to see Kira, Maul. I just want to see all of it. Give me my Solo spinoff.
You had me there until you mentioned Boba Fett. Like I could do without Boba Fett, honestly. But
give me the Syndicate power struggle of like
exactly that's
after the whole ending of Solo. Like what's next? Like Kira going to Dathomir, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Make Solo to Happen person, but I really want to see stuff with Chewie and Solo, like working for Jabba, yeah. But also, I mainly really want to see Kira and her dynamic with Darth Maul and how that happened around Crimson Dawn. There's limitless possibilities. And The Mandalorian in general just gave me a very great optimism towards these future potential Disney Plus shows because of the budget. The budget looks fantastic on The Mandalorian, so it can look fantastic on Solo as well. And then, like all the acting, all the like effects and everything, very optimistic.
Yeah, and I think Kenobi is going to be something so much different. I think Cassian will be something that you can compare to The Mandalorian, where not necessarily in tone, but kind of in the approach to the show and kind of those kind of things. And I think with Kenobi, because it's a mini series, I believe 6 and done, I think that approach is going to be different, and I'm very excited. I think it's going to be like probably one of the more emotional pieces of Disney. Not to say that this season already has been emotional with everything, but I think that it's really going to be, I hate the term character study, but it to get Ewan back is just incredible, and to really have him dive into the character. I don't know if they're going to pull him off planet. I don't know the full context, but if we're like citing what you're most excited for on Disney Plus over, if it's Kenobi, the Cassian series, or something unannounced, I'm really excited for Kenobi. I know it's just been speculated for years. I know it's kind of been like overhyped in the community, but I'm really excited to kind of fill in the gap of that story.
Yeah, I want to thank the Resistance broadcast for getting this trend going and opening everyone's eyes to why Solo 2 needs to happen.
Yeah, they're still going at it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's still going. I love it.
I'm so happy because I was inspired enough because I even put out my own Disney Plus mock trailer for a Solo sequel. Because I agree. Like the Crimson Dawn stuff, like you can fill multiple seasons of just that if you really want to deep dive. But I also am big on the thought of getting the full hire of the meeting of Han and Jabba and getting that relationship built, because clearly it seems like Han charms Jabba a lot, especially if you go off the scene in A New Hope. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see that. I would like to have Boba Fett. I would like to see the dynamic of Han and Boba Fett having to work together and having different ideals. And Chewie in there as well. And if you wanted to bring Lando back, I'd be down for that too. You don't have to, but I think Donald Glover did a great job. And I do want Alden back so bad as Han.
Can that man get a job? Please, somebody hire him again. He's so great.
He really is. It's really exciting to see what kind of prospect that could be. To touch on the Kenobi point, I also wanted to do the exploration of character study. I would think it would be great if you could film a new flashback scenes if you can get Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman back with him. I think that would be phenomenal to not only do, but if you can get consultants on the Clone Wars who help build those characters into the love we have for them now and the deep depth of character.
I would love a PTSD angle maybe, and kind of forced nightmares, kind of a clash of the past, and then whatever the true threat of the show is. I mean, the threat could be him going crazy over having to stay on this planet and having the responsibility of protecting Luke and whatnot. But there's so much that you can do.
Yeah, I think 1,000% we're definitely going to see Anakin and Padme in the show. I would bet my life on it. More so Anakin than Padme.
Definitely Anakin.
But I think we definitely have to see that, because even in the the Darth Vader comic books, you see Darth Vader reminiscing on Obi-Wan and all that stuff. They had such a great relationship. I would be totally surprised if Anakin or Hayden doesn't show up in the show. Especially when there was like a recent interview when somebody like blatantly asked him like, "Oh, how is Anakin in the TV show?" And then like Ewan had to quickly respond and be like, "Oh well, I don't know if he's in the show or not," which I think he's definitely going to be in the show. He has to be.
Do you guys think we'll get any form of a Vader appearance in Kenobi?
No, I don't want.
I hope not. I really do not want a Vader appearance. No.
I think that'll go into the whole Boba Fett thing. It'd be fan service.
Yeah, and half the internet does want that type of thing, but one last thing
doesn't make sense to me.
I guess it just depends on like, how you use them story wise. Like
if it's like what you were saying, Evan, like you use Hayden and like that connection, especially like the internal battle of something like what's the novel? Paulus Kemp. I can't remember what it's called. Lords of the Sith. The internal battle of Vader and that is very, very good, and I would love to see like maybe a Force connection battling back, and maybe like Luke tapping into the Force unknowingly, and like you kind of see like him getting stressed over the same mistakes of everything, and him being stuck in the middle.
That would be incredible. I actually I wouldn't mind like a scene where like, because I feel like by the time you get to A New Hope, I have no doubt that Obi-Wan is definitely aware Vader is around. That Anakin's still,
but maybe he can't pinpoint the presence, but like
I would like to actually
I
would like to have a scene like interconnected to where like Obi-Wan is meditating on the Force and like he is having the PTSD, but like I would be intrigued if like through that he's like tapping through his emotional connection to Anakin that actually leads him to Anakin, like in present time with him, like connecting to him, like, and it's just like Anakin like chilling in his back to tank from Rogue One, and like he gets like that urge, like the sense of Obi-Wan, but like he probably would just like regard it as just like an anger feeling of memory, so he wouldn't like pay like much mind to it. But like
I have an idea.
Obi-Wan would
that's a great theory, Nathan. I really like it.
Yeah, no, I really like that too.
But then like have Obi-Wan like pick up on that and like see what Anakin has become to that point, and then just get even more like freaked out, depressed, and crazy over it.
Okay, do you guys know the Clone Wars episode where Yoda goes, I can't remember if it's like within the Force or if he actually goes off planet, to where he first talks to Qui-Gon, and like I can't remember what specifically that episode is.
That's in the Lost Missions when he goes.
The Lost Missions. What if we had like it's kind of like a false advertisement of that, where you go in and you get all these like Anakin voices, and then it twists and just comes like thwarting down into like the present stuff, and he like accidentally like taps into that.
Yeah, it'd be so crazy, so good.
Yeah, I'd really love that. I love when the show gets, or Star Wars in general, gets really weird with the Force.
Yeah,
so really
too.
Anything is possible.
It's so crazy, like, to think of the Force, like, in movies, but then, like, you could go to, like, the Night Sisters or the World Between Worlds stuff.
So much interpretations. And that's what I especially love that Disney's done specifically. I think every, at least new piece of content has had, like, a different interpretation of the Force, a different sense of responsibility of the Force, and different backgrounds with the Force, which has been really awesome.
Yeah, I will always stand by Ryan's the Force is not a superpower. It's the best thing ever.
Absolutely, 100%.
And that's not different either. That's what the Force has always been. It's never been a superpower. You just have to like believe in it and believe in yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been about like leveling up. Like training, of course, helps you with that meditation
Shout
factor,
out Broom Boy.
Factor. Exactly, prime example. But yeah, like there's never like any training somebody has to do. Training just helps you like keep that memory intact.
Yeah, and if you want just like way more amazing articulation on that. Please watch Freddie Prinze Jr. go off on a podcast.
Yes. Best thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, he says it much more better than I am.
Yeah. It's like, it came from George Lucas, so F you, that's how it is. Oh, man.
With the Metachlorians.
I do.
Little green laser swords. Metachlorians.
I feel like I would get like some sort of a vibe for the Cassian series through the Mandalorian flashback assaults, because, you know, he's been in this fight since he was 6 years old. But like, I feel like you could actually like play that up through the Cassian series and like see his evolution from like having to deal with this war at such a young age to leading up to where he'd be in Rogue One. And also, since like from the beginning of Rogue One, you see how shady he is. Like, he straight up shoots an informant who was very innocent.
One of my favorite scenes in Rogue One is after Edu, where they're in the ship, and you know, I think that's the scene where he says, "I've been in this fight since I'm 6 years old." But like, just that, you just see the desperation, like where I think there's a line where he's like, "Some of us didn't like choose to suddenly join the fight now," and just the toll of that is incredibly fascinating.
I would love to see him have these heavy decisions where like, you're gonna have to sacrifice some people for the greater good of the war, and like that emotional toll it could take on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the casting the Andor show. I think it's very, like, I shouldn't say underrated because it hasn't even come out yet, but I think it's like underhyped because I think the casting the Andor showrunner is Steven Schiff from The Americans, and The Americans is hand down my favorite TV show.
Did you see though that they brought in what's his face?
Tony Gilroy. Yeah,
Tony Gilroy.
I heard about that. Yeah, Tony Gilroy. I heard about that. I'm a little bit nervous. Like, I think it's like it's a given now that the
I'm
Kenobi
so surprised
show is
he's
going to come out
back.
first.
Because did you like listen to his podcast like post Rogue One? He was on some podcast and he's like, "I don't even like Star Wars," blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Why did you do it then?"
Did he say that? I mean, like, he was kind of like, he was like kind of messing around with Disney.
No, he's like, "I got in there and the whole ending was a mess and I had to like blah blah blah."
He was saying like it was a mess out of there. Like, I could hardly like make a good product out of that, so I did what I had to do or something like that. But
yeah,
I mean, either way, Tony Gilroy is a great like director.
Oh yeah,
and,
no doubt.
Person on his own right, and I'm not shocked that they're not bringing back Gareth Edwards for the Cassian show. Yeah. I'm not shocked about that either. But yeah, I am very excited because like The Americans, Steven Schiff, when he did that show is all about making those life and death decisions. Like, do I do this for the greater good of my country, or do I do this for the greater good of my goal? So in that inner dilemma, that inner complexity.
That's probably what Kathy saw, I'm assuming, and it's like,
exactly,
hey.
yeah. So I'm very excited for Cassian. I'm excited for all the new shows coming out, and like Brandon said earlier, I'm very excited for Solo 2 when that gets announced. That is going to get announced.
Yeah, when it gets announced, because it will.
Next celebration,
definitely. Yep.
Well, we'll be at the book publishing panel, missing JJ on stage. So
too soon.
A bunch of kids' books.
Oh, don't get me started.
Hopefully, better books announced next time.
Project Loomis. What is it?
Yeah, maybe they finally announced Project Luminous.
Jeez.
You guys kept Sean was like, "Oh my God, there's so and so's on stage. So and so's on stage," and Carter was like, "Oh no, let's wait. Let's wait. I think they're going to announce something big."
My first celebration. I now know.
I mean, yeah, I was a little salty about that because, like, the last celebration, the 2017 one, the publishing panel was pretty intense. It was pretty good. This one, they just didn't do anything with it.
It was great. Me and Brandon were just chilling at a Return of the Jedi screening because...
That's right. You guys ran over to the other side.
Yeah, because we do the audience reaction stuff, and, like, we were hyped to, like, actually be with a Star Wars crowd. And there's maybe, like, 6 people max in there in this dark room, and it's like, well, okay, if we want to just kill time while they're at publishing. And then Brandon's looking at the live stream. And everybody's on stage ever, and it's like, come on, man, we have to run from a whole nother building. Like, we booked it.
That's the thing. You can plan, but you're always going to miss something.
Note to self, camp out at Star Wars show stage forever.
You just gotta hold somebody hostage there, I'm telling you.
Is this an extra topic right here? We just talk celebration?
Yeah.
Should we make it happen?
God, Anaheim's so far away. That's crazy.
Oh, it's so exciting. It was so crazy, like walking around, and it's just like the Star Wars show stage is just like right in the open. Everything you can just pass by, and it's like, oh, there's Alan Tudyk just chilling. There's Sam.
I was
Witwer
gonna
on
say,
stage.
there's Cam Actor just chilling. Shout out Cam Actor.
I remember Brian Herring was sitting down at the table at the couch right before they were about to interview him. I'm like, "Hi, Brian." He turns around and just waves at me. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Pretty sure Doug Chang waved
That's
at
how-
us at one of the.
Oh.
Remember,
God.
remember when you met John
Yeah.
Knoll and didn't know it was John Knoll, and
Oh
I
my
didn't either.
God.
I was so
That's
angry.
horrible. We're cutting this. We're cutting this. We knew who John Knoll.
Cut it. Cut
We did.
Cut it. Get out.
Well, John,
Yeah.
he said it
Carson
to
and
John
I were
Knowles'
like-
face.
Carson and I were like, I think he looks familiar. I can't remember him.
I was
And we
so
go to
mad.
him, "Hi."
No, I didn't even go up to him. I'm like, I'm just so tired.
I was so mad. I was
went to him,
wandering
like,
around.
I feel like I know you.
Bro, I was wandering
I
around
feel like I
looking
know
for
you.
you guys, and I was like just trying to find you guys, and then I heard you because I was on the biggest Rogue One high. I'm all about John Knoll, and then you met him, didn't know him, you didn't know his face.
No, he told Brandon that he was Luke Skywalker.
Oh my god,
Oh my
He told him it was Mark Hamill. Yeah,
bro!
too funny.
I can't believe we ran into John Ratzenberger very randomly.
Oh my god. Yeah, he was walking. I'm like, "Are you John Ratzenberger?" He's like, "I used to be." I'm like, "Can I get a handshake, sir? I love you."
That was incredible. That was so random.
And I wasn't recording. I filmed everything else ever except that because it was so random. Like for 10 seconds, like it's nuts.
Dude, like every time I watch a Pixar film now, I'm like, I met that man.
Man.
Yeah, I miss Celebration.
So I think at the point we're about 40 minutes into the recording, so we're gonna move into our final topic, which is Rise of Skywalker is quickly approaching. We're about a month away from it now.
Less, like, wait, no.
33
we are.
days, but who's
33
counting?
days. Evan's counting.
Gonna be seeing it so many times. You know, it's the end of the era, so we all got our tickets and stuff. We've countlessly watched the trailers, so we just wanted to take some time to not only gush about the Rise of Skywalker, but what are our predictions? So I suppose I'll go. Rise of Skywalker is obviously going to be crazy. Plenty of different things that we could touch on. So many different theories. I'm just hoping for that Bendemption, man. I need it.
Facts.
Let Kylo Ren die. Let Ben
Oh,
Solo
stop.
die.
Get
Get
out.
out. Get out.
Kylo Ren will die. Kylo Ren's gonna die, but Ben
Kylo
Solo's
Ren
gonna
will die. Ben
Come on
Solo
now.
will rise.
Come on
now.
now.
Kylo and Ben will both die, sirs. I'm going full Johnny. I'm going full John Hoey on this.
Cut it. Cut it.
Jesus
Ray and Ben will lead the new order of the Jedi called the Skywalkers, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What if Rey and Ben both die?
I mean, I'm not going into the whole Ben leading the Skywalkers. I actually, I'm full Bendemption, 1,000%. I really want Ben to live. But I also don't think he's gonna, help Rey with the new Jedi Order. I'll be very excited if he does, but I can see him doing his own, redemption, post Rise of Skywalker, going throughout the galaxy, helping people in need, that kind of thing. That would be really cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, just pay it back for all those.
And we have to remember that redemption is probably going to look like in Rey's eyes, or at least at first. It's not going to be like a switch. And I think a lot of people get mixed up to oh, you can't just suddenly redeem somebody like that. It's not all, obviously I think a lot of the quote unquote sins of Kylo Ren are really oversaturated in the fandom of what he's done. It's been so horrible.
Yeah, this is Star Wars. It's a freaking
Right,
fantasy.
right. Come on. Where's the hope?
Can you imagine if he gets redeemed and he's fighting alongside us and Poe just double takes can you torture me, man?
He just shoots him. He just shoots him.
There's got to be a blooper
Done.
reel of that.
Get it over with.
you break my brain, Jesus.
But then Kylo's like, "Hey, Poe, didn't you shoot Finn's best friend right in front of him? What about that? Huh?
Oh my god, yeah. Poe shot Finn's trooper friend from Academy,
And this is why Ben's
Nah, it's fine.
and then they become best of friends. It's just if could you imagine if Qui-Gon killed one of Anakin's friends on Tatooine and
my
then
God.
recruits him?
I do like to imagine
That's
that.
getting dark.
I would love to imagine that at some point the final battle's taken place, and if you could somehow have Ben piloting the Falcon, I would.
Could happen 100%.
I think
Actually,
it has
90%.
to happen. We have to get Ben in the Falcon because JJ took out that that scrumptious
Delicious.
scene of
That
Kylo Ren
canted
in the
angle.
Millennium Falcon. It was so it was so good. I really think without a doubt Ben's going to be in the Falcon at some point in this movie.
Who would you have as Ben's co-pilot? Because I know some people could say Rey, but like I would love it for either be Lando or Chewie, for him to be co-piloting with. Leia,
Oh.
you somehow did that, I would freak out.
J.J. Abrams, you mad lad. I dare you.
Can you imagine if he like super secretly filmed one cockpit scene with Leia? Nobody knew about it.
Solo.
Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to be, of the legacy characters, Leia's quote-unquote, last hurrah. That
Or
Yeah,
when he's
and-
flying, or he's flying with Han Solo in 4-7. Huh?
No,
because he's
no,
dead.
sir, no, sir.
so much wrong with that statement.
100%, 100%. Leia's gonna live through the trilogy. She's gonna live through this.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Like, I used to think that, but I've heard so many different theories and discussions, and the more I'm thinking about it, like, I really do want her to live past the Rise of Skywalker. I can definitely see that happen. I think mostly everyone's gonna make this out alive. Like, I can't see a ton of deaths happening in this movie, even somebody like Poe. But at the same time, like, ever since I saw that trailer and like at the end, it's like the Force will be with you always. Like, it just feels like Leia's gonna go into like Force Ghost or something. Maybe I really hope not.
All right, what if Leia goes into
But-
Force Ghost and like shields both Ben and Rey from something?
Oh my god.
Kind of like
it could work.
Goblet of Fire-esque, where they give him Harry like a brief second. To,
Yeah,
like,
I
get to
wouldn't
the
mind
cup,
that. Like,
you know?
Goblet of Fire, where they like help out Harry, but Harry's still doing the
Right,
the
it's only a
grunt work
second.
of it,
Like they
basically.
have no leverage in the situation. It's like a flash or something. Like just like I would love that little detail of like Leia believing in her son again.
I can actually believe that happening like during the final battle if like they're on like their last leg and like there does need to be like a quick distraction, and that's when you could like introduce like the multiple Force Ghost if they were to go that route. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I am kind of nervous about
I'm
that. But
curious
also,
and nervous about Force Ghost in this movie.
I think we're going to see a lot of Force Ghosts, but hopefully JJ uses it very well. But at the same time, this goes into the discussion like, if Rey and Ben fight Palpatine, how is this fight going to go out? Because I don't see Palpatine using a lightsaber to fight.
See, I don't
at
know.
this age. So is it going to be a whole Force battle? Are we going to get to like a Force weird thing going on there? Just like a Force battle?
I think it's going to be. Like, okay, so from the art cover book, the whole flash fights thing, where
Yeah.
they're supposed to be like the concept is like jumping around different planets suddenly. I can see like Palpatine like throwing them into some sort of like ongoing rotation of like force threats. I don't know what you would want to call it, but still, with that being said, it's like I don't know. Yeah, are you talking about Ezra in Rebels? Yeah, but like at the end of the day, when you got the main man himself walking up to Rey, it's like, how does that dynamic work, and what is that fight gonna look like?
I actually did have
Exactly.
a theory. I did have a theory on that, which was I don't know if like Palpatine will even have a full-on physical presence. Like I know we saw a cloaked figure in the final trailer, but I feel like that could actually be Darkseid Rey if they were to go some form of a clone route. And like
I don't like that.
Get that out of here. We don't
Like, I really want Palpatine to be in a physical form. Cause I
do
think,
you like?
I mean, I think,
Yes.
like, I really want him to be, like, a physical presence. Because that's, like, a way to defeat him.
But think
I
about
don't want
how
him just to
awesome
be-
it would be. It's just so insurmountable because you can't touch the dude. In some like crazy force thing, we go in and there's like perceivably no way out, and we had to like beat this force threat in the middle of whatever. Well, that giant space battle is going on. Like,
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
imagine if they had to like perform a force like exorcism type deal. Like that'd be
oh my god.
Well, okay, imagine. Okay, this goes back to the Force Horcrux theory that I had, where they're having to destroy Force Horcruxes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Think about it. Like, let's just say Vader's helmet is a Force Horcrux, and they have to work together to destroy all the Force Horcruxes to finally get rid of Palpatine.
I do like that theory. I can see that happening. I've heard that. But I just feel like, even in the trailer where he's like, long have I waited, like, he sounds like he's starting to become a real thing again. I just don't want to see Rey fight a ghost or
That's
something.
the biggest mystery right now is, like, what does Palpatine's initial meddling in this movie look like? And how is it situated in the past two films?
I would definitely believe that Palpatine has, like, the Force Horcrux thing could definitely come into place, because, like, I feel like since he is the puppet master throughout everything, and, you know, all of the saga films are to be connected to this, especially the sequel trilogy. If Palpatine was connected to Vader's helmet and telling dark side stuff to Kylo while he meditated, and it wasn't his grandfather like he believed, that could be a good juxtaposition of that. And then I would like so much love if they could get Hayden for a Force Ghost reconciling with Ben.
Like, the true.
1000%.
Yeah.
Well, I can see Hayden appearing in the movie. I don't know if he's gonna have a full
scene.
Hey Ben, what you were doing was wrong. Now be good again. Like, I can't see him having a full conversation, but I think he'll appear like in the end. Force Ghost clapping in the distance, just happy.
Well, I can imagine him having like a moment to like reach out into the Force of like not only like feeling back to his good, but like getting a sense of a presence of his father and just like breaking down, like just
or when he's having to face certain death and he's surrounded by all of his Force Ghost companions. Does it hurt? No, it's quicker than falling asleep.
I hate you.
Stop it.
Nope, that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
The resurrection holocron.
Oh.
I know, but like one thing that I actually think is gonna happen, since JJ is using old Leia footage, we did see that shot in the final trailer with like all the rebellion gathered around under the Falcon. You did see Lando there, and then somebody was able to spot Maz.
Oh yeah,
I saw Maz in that. Yeah.
Matching that up, I think they are going to showcase, because the lightsaber got damaged at the end of Last Jedi. It split apart and raced to holding it apart. I think they're going to take that teaser shot we saw in the Force Awakens celebration trailer where Maz is handing the saber to Leia.
The broken one to Leia.
Yeah, and they fixed it. Maz fixes it, hands it to Leia, who will probably hand it over to Rey or somebody. Like, 100% it could happen, since they definitely filmed more than just like a hand moving over scene for that.
Supposedly there's a lot of uncut stuff.
Yeah, I've wanted to see that shot play out.
I
wanted to see that shot play out for the last 4 years, and I think we are definitely going to get it, and I can't wait.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I always figured, like, I thought the lightsaber would be fixed by the time, like, before the movie. Like, it's just known that the lightsaber's fixed now. It doesn't need explaining. But I
think her lightsaber, the legacy lightsaber, will kind of be the yin and yang. Sorry. Between Kylo's broken helmet tattered back together and Rey's broken saber, I think will be a process of destroying and mending, and I think in Kylo's case it will be destroying, in Rey's case and mending, but adopting like a new definition for that saber.
Yeah, I remember the just seeing that shot fueled my mind that I thought they were gonna use that to tell how Maz got the saber, since we lost in Cloud City. But at this point, I don't even care about that anymore. I just like, if we have a better story point, like the fixing of the saber and like all these points that you were labeling off, like that's way better. That I care more about amazing story than just getting like answers for every little detail.
Right, me too.
Which is one of the things I'm kind of nervous about. Like, I hope JJ doesn't go through a checklist of all the answers he perceives needs to be answered in The Rise of Skywalker. I just want him to tell his own story.
I think he has a new outlook on this movie. I pray every day.
Yeah, and that's coming from somebody who loved The Force Awakens. So I think
I
really trust JJ. And I trust Chris Terrio and like everything that Chris Terrio has been saying so far concerning like
Rey, especially.
What is the Force? Like, what is Rey? Yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm confident in both of them.
I loved seeing that like a new interview from JJ, because like there's still so many people who are like JJ's gonna negate what Ryan did, but then he just openly said, like, I'm so happy Ryan did that stuff, man. Now I can, like, breathe and actually do my own thing.
Love it to see it. Love to see it.
Absolutely. It's so good. There's so many things. It's crazy, like, how they're gonna unveil, like, all the Star Destroyers and stuff. That's gonna be the biggest space battle of all space battle. Like, right now, my favorite space battle they've done is Rogue One because it's so good. But, like,
oh yeah,
this is probably gonna just, like, melt my brain with how many shit.
I love the meme going around when that first came out. It was like, I think it's from Always Sunny, where he's like pointing at the board or whatever, and JJ, it's like supposed to be JJ saying all the ships, like when he's talking to ILM. They put all of them.
Oh, with the Dennis system.
Yeah.
The JJ system.
The JJ system.
Oh, that's so good. Were there any more points you guys wanted to touch on?
Well, Kylo Ren / Ben Solo's death is the point.
No, not gonna happen. But,
sorry, I didn't hear that. What was that?
I could talk about the Rise of Skywalker forever. I mean, yeah, we didn't even talk about Reylo. I think that's 100% going to happen.
Reylo not happening is another point.
Reylo has happened, sir.
Yeah, exactly what Carson said. I think Reylo has already happened.
Reylo isn't strictly a romantic thing. It is the established balance.
Exactly, and that's what I will always say. It is first and foremost, at least for my definition, it is them being the core of the trilogy and their destinies and push and pull of the Force being intertwined in some way.
Just not romantically, right?
Well, it can elevate to that, but I think despite whatever their relationship, good or evil or having beef with each other, it's always going to be the revolving around that first and foremost. I don't know.
I think there's definitely a hint of romance in there. I'm just going to say, I think there's definitely a romance for sure. It just goes, it's the whole question, like, is JJ going to be explicit about that? Like, is there going to be a whole kiss scene? Is there going to be a warm hug or a warm embrace?
I think if you wanted to, like, satisfy both sides, you can just give them one, like, very emotional hug, and that will
I'm thinking forehead kiss. I need it.
Yeah, when he's getting laid to rest, right?
That would be the only way.
Stop.
That's what I'm thinking for a forehead kiss.
No, stop it.
Finn was almost dead, and he got a forehead kiss. Oh my god, yeah. Can you imagine Ben's, like, also next to Finn, and it's like, dude, you ruined my spine. Oh my god.
Hey, bud, you remember when you, like, slashed me in the back? Yeah, that hurt like a mother.
Yeah, I got, like, bionic spine thanks to you, bud. You just see him, like, walking up in the back of the frame as Ben's about to, like, kiss Rey.
Oh my god.
Pulls out a blaster.
Finn Rey's mad.
Rey throws him back.
But even outside of, like, Kylo and Rey and Reylo, I'm very excited to see Rose back. I'm very excited to see Naomi Aki's character, what she's going to bring to the story.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell, too. I'm very surprised we haven't seen much of, what's her name, Zori Bliss, like, in any of the teasers,
I'm keeping
trailers,
my hopes mild
TV spots.
because I'm like, all right, it could just be another DJ. Don't, like, think this is going to be some, like, wild connection that's going to, like, blow your mind, but I'm here for the character.
Oh, DJ doesn't come back.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, they did state Zori is a friend of Poe's, so I feel like we'll get...
Yeah, which is a good connection.
Which is very interesting, too. Yeah. They talked about, like, that sexual attraction they had in the past, maybe, so that's something I did not expect.
Poe getting off duty.
Yo, Storm Pilot's mad. I can't wait for that 3PO scene. I edited it in my super trailer. I think he's gonna be flashing back to not only, like, look on, like, his old friends, like, he's gonna probably...
You're gonna make me cry just talking about it.
I know, but I think, like, primarily that's gonna be used to, like, find other, like, me, because 3PO was no doubt around for a while. But, like, if you could, like, get a sense of how Palpatine was, how his structure of power was, and you can, like, break down, like, his goal through everything, you can probably set up, like, his own hidden points, which could lead into the Horcrux thing again, of finding these different items.
Yeah.
I think you could, like, have 3PO following them around. Unfortunately, shut down forever and is just, like, mindless map with red eyes, which would be sad, but also, like, necessary if that's the only way to win.
That'll be very sad. But I've also had a question, like, what does C-3PO have in his memory that they really need to fight against the First Order and Palpatine specifically?
Well, yeah, I mean, they would have to
know.
recover the prequel files that were erased.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Clone Wars era stuff. I'm trying to think when like he was like
But
with
even
Padme.
like the prequel files, like, I can't see anything being in there where it's like, okay, yeah, this is essential towards
we
defeating the
write
First
something.
Order.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe they've created something very new, but
I'm sure at some
can't think of
point
anything.
I'm sure at some point 3PO was in Palpatine's office, like with a group of the Jedi and such. Can you imagine seeing different angles of like that Clone Wars meeting with Mace Windu and Yoda and Palpatine?
Walks up with a tray of champagne.
If they could like reincorporate,
It's like-
dude, if they could reincorporate the Revenge of the Sith deleted scenes with Bail Organa and Padme, and like
Ooh.
having like new Palpatine info through that, that'd be wild.
All right, or we do the same camera movement as Canto Bite, and it's just strictly on 3PO walking into Palpatine's office.
Oh.
Memories.
Okay,
Guys,
I like
guys,
it.
do you think we'll get a? You guys think we'll get a Snape-esque scene with C-3PO?
The Snape?
Take my tears.
Like, you know how Snape's memories, when like he's going through all his memories. Do you
No,
think we'll get
that's-
that?
I don't think that's gonna work.
that's
with
going too
3PO.
much into C-3PO's like mindscape. I don't think we get all that.
It's very exciting for sure. I don't know if there's any more.
How we
I mean,
doing?
yeah,
on
I could
time?
talk about the Rise of Skywalker for hours, but yeah, we should probably
Yeah, we could,
cut
but
it
we've
short.
already hit an hour mark, so I think we should wrap it up here, guys. You guys want to plug your social medias or something? This is our first episode. We didn't like really discuss.
Yeah, the kinks worked out.
Well, usually on Pub Talk, I don't ever plug anything, but here I am. Follow me at Phantasmic Ears. I'm pretty sure Nathan's gonna put in the description down below all of our social medias and stuff. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet Star Wars stuff. I tweet about the Star Wars. I tweet about Disney
I
World.
Star
I tweet
Wars.
about all that. I tweet about all that. So make sure to give us a follow. Follow Hyperspace Hype. We've started a Twitter now. So thank you guys all for watching. From me, I'd like to say that. And yeah, that's it for me.
Very well. Carson?
Yeah, you guys can follow me also on Twitter at the Force Critic. Yeah, it's been a great, fun episode. I think we bounced around to a lot of exciting stuff because there's a lot of exciting stuff coming in Star Wars. So stay tuned for some next episodes. I'm sure we're going to talk about Mandalorian more and obviously Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, check the links down below, guys.
Awesome. Evan?
Hey guys, you guys can follow me at HarrisEV9. On Twitter, I usually tweet about Star Wars, movies, video games. I just started Fallen Order yesterday, so I'll just be tweeting about that for the next couple of weeks.
All right, and then as you guys know, this is uploaded to my channel, so like my descriptions are always the same. My social medias are there. You follow everything there, and definitely come back next week. We're gonna be hopefully keeping this at a weekly basis. Try to set it to one specific day. We'll see how things go for here. Till next time, though, we're gonna set our next course, jump back into hyperspace. And if you guys enjoyed this podcast, hit the like button, subscribe if not already. I'm gonna also try to include an audio only version somewhere, somehow. I'll put that link in the description for that. And that being said, guys, hope you have a great day. May the force be with you always.